I'm going to tell you, and then later one of the chefs is going to tell you that when you're cooking with wine, especially when you bring it to a simmer, most of that alcohol cooks right out and you're just left with a wonderful flavor. So how about chicken with Riesling wine, some red grapes? This is one of those rock star dishes. It's a one skillet dish. You look like you are, a gourmet chef. Nobody knew. You threw it together in like 20 minutes. Love that. Sip of coffee. I got coffee in here, not wine, and then we're going to get to work. This is a really affordable recipe, too. I know everyone's watching their pennies these days, but we want to do something nice, especially in the weekend. Sometimes you just don't feel like going out. You want to put a movie in, do like a date night thing at home. This recipe is just perfect. Starts out with 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And when I'm doing chicken breasts in a skillet, I like to pound them up just a little bit, flatten them a little bit, and that way they're going to cook. I'm busy mom in the trenches, just like a lot of you guys out there, and I need to get dinner on the table in a hurry. I don't have hours and hours. So if you pound out your chicken just a little bit, especially when I'm going to saute it, it just is going to cook more evenly and quicker. If you notice, chicken breasts, they're a little bit thicker in the middle and then thinner, out toward the ends. That way, if they're all going to be more uniform, and they're just going to cook faster. All right, so get out the old meat mallet, or if you don't have one of these, buy one. I use them all the time. I didn't have one for years, though, and so if you don't have one, a rolling pin works, or the back of a heavy-duty frying pan works perfectly. And we don't want these real thin so that they're tearing apart. That looks about perfect. Okay, other really important thing when it comes to browning up, chicken or beef or pork is make sure that skillet is nice and hot. And notice I've got my real big pan here. That's really important. We've got 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And boy, that's hot, almost a little too hot. So I'm going to just, don't be afraid to do this. Just pick the pan up off the heat. And this pan is great. It's got 2 handles. And just, I wanted to preheat it, but I don't want it too hot. I don't want to put those chicken breasts on there and, have them burn. I just want them to be golden. Now, also really important to season both sides of your chicken breasts. Just using some salt and pepper. We're going to keep this one real simple. This is a great tip that one of my chef friends gave me recently. In this bowl, you're going to see me use this a lot because I just love this idea, is just in a little, bowl, ramekin, whatever, dish by your cooktop. This is just a mixture of 1 cup of kosher salt and 1 tablespoon of coarse ground pepper. And that way you need to season something in a hurry, just your fingers, just do it. And I love it. Just a great idea. Okay, where'd my tongs go? All right, I want to get this chicken into the skillet, and I've got oil and some butter. I want some nice butter flavor, but if I were just to do the butter, it might burn on me, and I can bring the pan to a little bit of a higher temperature using that little bit of oil in there. So a couple tablespoons of butter, just for that great butter flavor. We love that. We live in Wisconsin. Can't get enough of our butter, right? And you notice I'm really spreading these chicken breasts out so that they can do their thing and get a little brown on the bottom. There we go. And again, I'm seasoning both sides. I have to tell you, my grandmother, Mimi, who passed away not too long ago at the age of 91, had a wonderful, long, happy life and was the master entertainer. She was kind of a foodie before there were foodies around, and she always cooked with wine. So, she'd open a bottle of wine and have some people over, and so there's a little bit left, or, why not put a little bit into the sauce? She made wonderful beef stroganoff and chicken cacciatore, and so she'd always just put a little flash of wine into her sauces and things like that, and it just takes things to the next level. It really does. Now, if you just don't want to go there, you can always use stock instead of wine, chicken stock or beef stock, whatever is going to work in whatever dish you're making. But really try it. And if you are going to do wine in your sauces and things like that, go to the liquor store or the liquor department of your grocery store to get the wine. Don't get the wine that's in the actual food section of the grocery store. They call it cooking wine. No. Get the regular wine from the liquor department, but you don't have to get a real expensive bottle of it at all. In fact, you can even cook with just those little guys The little ones, they come in a 4-pack, and then every time you have a recipe, you can use one of those. They actually work great. Deb, did you walk away with my tongs again? It's okay. Look at this. These are beautiful. I love Deb. I put something down, she takes it away. I want Deb to come to my house. That's why I got another set. Look at these. Absolutely beautiful. That's what we're looking for. Okay, you see I've got some wonderful red grapes. And think about that, putting the little fruit into, your recipes once in a while. Really works with, I do a raspberry pork chop recipe that's fabulous, cranberries and pork, and same goes for chicken. Chicken and grapes and a little bit of red wine, and this is like not fancy stuff. Come on, you've got some grapes that you pack in the kids' lunch. Think about putting them in some of your dishes. My mom always did that. My mom has a great recipe. I got to do it on the show once in a while. Got to track that recipe. My mom never writes her recipes down, so you got to do that. Pass them down. But she does wild game hens with grapes, and she stuffs them with wild rice, and just a great recipe. So grapes go great with chicken or hens, game hens. So I'm just going to slice these in half a little bit. Ooh, that chicken is starting to smell wonderful. Yeah, nice and brown on both sides. We're there. Okay, now we're going to make a quick pan sauce. And this is something they do at the restaurants all the time, but you probably don't do it too much at home. And you should. You've got all these great drippings on the bottom here. Use them. To make a real quick and wonderful pan sauce. So I'm going to throw a little bit more butter. We love our butter in Wisconsin. And some onion into my skillet. And this just takes minutes to make a pan sauce with the great drippings on the bottom of the pan. I mean, it's seriously easy peasy, lemon squeezy kind of thing. You just get in the hang of it, and then you'll be doing it all the time with steaks, pork chops, whatever. I'm a sauce person. I just am. Why not be? Dress up your chicken or your pork or your steaks with a little bit of a sauce. That's what they do at the restaurants, and you can do it at home too. All right, a little bit of flour in here just to thicken that sauce, just a little bit. Now here comes our wine. We're going to use a little bit of a sweeter wine, a Riesling wine. This happens to be Festival Sapphire Riesling. It's made right in Algoma at the Von Steel Winery. Really pretty blue bottle. Isn't that pretty? So this is called kind of deglazing the pan, big fancy word for getting all those wonderful brown bits up in the bottom. A little bit of chicken stock. So this isn't going to be like a real thick gravy. It's just going to be really nice and flavorful. A little salt and pepper. I'm also going to do a little bit of garlic in here, just a little, and I should have gotten that in there when I had my onion in here. Just a little hint of it. I don't want to overpower the dish at all. This is just going to be light and wonderful. Let's get that garlic in there. And that's okay. If you miss something as you go, you can throw it in later. It's not the end of the world. Ooh, it smells wonderful. A little more stock, just kind of eyeball it. Okay, if it's getting a little thick, a little more stock, a little more wine. Nothing has to be perfect. We're just kind of doing a method here. A little bit of fresh thyme I thought would be really nice in here. Oh, it smells. Doesn't that smell good, Deb?
It smells wonderful.
I mean, and this is just, easy stuff. Really easy. But it seems kind of gourmet, which is kind of fun every once in a while. Every once in a while, you got to do something. You know me, I love my casseroles, I do. But every once in a while, you got to do something different. Okay. And now we got to do a little bit of heavy cream just to finish off our sauce. Always kind of do that at the end. So a little dab will do ya. There we go. Now let's get those chicken breasts and any juices that have accumulated on the plate. Get those in there too. That is flavor, my friend. Just to heat those. Finish cooking them just for a little bit. See all those wonderful juices from the chicken? In it goes. Or whatever you're cooking. If you're doing pork chops, whatever. Thanks, Deb. cover those and cover them with sauce. And now we got to throw our grapes in. That's kind of the last thing that we want to throw in there. I'm getting hungry. I know, this looks so fancy. A little bit more of that thyme, Deb, thank you. There we go. It's that easy. This is definitely one you got to try at home. Doesn't that look fabulous? All in one skillet, one dish to clean. You know, I like to serve this in the fall. I'd like to do it with some wild rice. Would be wonderful. This sauce would be great over noodles. We're going to just keep it simple and just do some wonderful mashed potatoes. So whatever kind of side you want to serve it with. So let's get one of these gorgeous chicken breasts. Just kind of lean it up near the potatoes and make it look a little fancy. And then got to get some of that sauce and those grapes. I know, we're a little gourmet today, but that's okay. And then you can always garnish. I like to garnish with kind of what we have in the dish. So in this case, maybe, you know, a little bit of fresh thyme on top. So there you go. It's my chicken in Riesling wine with grapes. Just yummy. Recipes on our website. You can also pick it up at any Festival Foods.